Okay, so I asked my subscribers for common frustrations around playing the kick pedal, and I got a broad range of responses. I can't play soft enough or loud enough. People keep changing the spring tension in my practice room. I feel like I'm gonna fall off the throne. I can't keep my balance. I need a way to transport my kick pedal, but it's too big and heavy. So all of these sound like very different issues, right? I'd have to do a video about dynamics on the kick, and then one about dealing with your practice roomies so they don't change the spring tension. Then a gear review of kick pedal ready suitcases. You hear me, Samsonite? No Samsonite logo on this kick pedal. Yet. But let me blow your mind right now. They're all the same issue. Technique. It's true, with better technique, your dynamics will improve. You won't care so much if the tension isn't perfect every time you sit down to play. You won't feel like you're doing parkour to keep from falling off the throne. And you won't waste suitcase space bringing a DW9000 with you everywhere you go, because you can make most any kick pedal work for you. I used to have all these issues, and I solved them with better technique, and better basic technique. And good thing, because if you'd asked how to play bleed with a single pedal, anyway, the one kick drum exercise that solves all these problems and some exercises in this week's lesson. Stay tuned. By the way, in case I didn't make this clear, there's nothing magic about this technique. It's a little like teaching people to balance on a bicycle. Say hardly anyone knew how to do that, and everybody was blaming the bike. You get it. I won't bore you with a long analogy. Anyway, category 1. Why you have no dynamic control or balance. Let's take it to the kit. When people mentioned to me that they couldn't get loud or soft dynamics, or felt like they couldn't balance on the throne, I dug deeper. What technique do you use? Almost invariable, it was heel down. So let me make the case for heel up. Argument the first. When I used to play heel down, I felt the same way. Now I play heel up, and I mostly don't have those issues anymore. Argument the second. The physics and mechanics of the body are the reason you're having those issues. When I play heel down, the footprint I can cover on the kick is limited. My foot has to pretty much cover the footboard. It can't be too far forward or too far back. That means the distance I can sit from the kick drum and the height I can sit at are also fixed. Because if the angle of my knee gets too acute, I'm going to have tension issues trying to pull my foot up off the footboard. Finally, it means that if my throne placement isn't perfect, I'm going to adjust my foot placement unconsciously to get the optimal leverage and alleviate tension. And that's going to cause those recurrent issues of people feeling like they're losing contact with the footboard or losing their balance. About 9 years ago, around the time I recorded this, I went full heel up. The advantages were numerous. With heel up, you have 2 places you can produce the leverage: the ankle and the hip. Does anybody talk about this? By the way, I'm genuinely curious. I would assume somebody like JoJo or probably Benny Greb talks about it, right? This allows a smooth transition of power, rather like going from playing with the fingers to the wrists to the arms when you're holding the stick. Because you can hold your foot in a more relaxed position on the kick, that also means your distance from the kick can be variable, as it would in a musical theater pit, but you can maintain relaxation. And because you can produce leverage from both the ankle and the hip, that means you can play pretty quiet and pretty loud. And I say pretty loud because I know all the metalheads out there will say, "You call that loud, bro?" And it's true that playing Thomas Hakey machine gun kick notes is kind of a specialized advanced technique. Anyway, once you get good at heel up, you won't feel like you're constantly losing your balance. But I know what some of you are going to say. I do play heel up and I still have these issues. Well, fear not. In the next segment, I'll explain why, what to do about it, and what to do about that nagging spring tension issue. Category 2, why low spring tension is killing your vibe. So I mentioned I transitioned to heel up around 9 years ago. But that doesn't mean I was immediately comfortable. The first couple of years I had trouble with dynamics and that cursed spring tension. So here's the exercise portion of the video where I give you some actual exercises to work on. But first, what do I actually do? It's pretty simple, actually stupid simple. Just make the pedal go without tension. That's it. So I usually put my foot just forward of the center of the footboard, but don't sweat that or let that be a deal breaker. And I sit in a way that's comfortable, and right away you might notice that you don't need to be to the inch the exact right distance from the kick drum. As Rob Brown would say,
for heaven's sakes, man, do not overthink this.
Now, exercises. And just a footnote, all these exercises will be transcribed for you in a workbook you can download for free if you click the link below the player. First, let's work on soft and loud. Playing quarters on the ride cymbal, I just play 2 bars of eighths on the kick softly and 2 bars loudly. 3, 4. I try to play off the drum with the soft notes and into the drum with the loud ones, but you can change it up. What this is doing is getting me familiar with generating power from the ankle and then from the hip and switching back and forth. And do not think too much. The purpose of this exercise is to make it intuitive by seeing what your body would do naturally when you ask it to play soft and loud. Next exercise, doubles, soft and loud. Let's do that matrix thing where you shift the 16th within the bar. We'll do 2 bars soft and 2 bars loud for each. I'd keep it reasonably slow at first. 3, 4. Tried to do a triple there, but it didn't work. There we go. Now, for extra credit, 2 slightly more advanced ones. First, this. 3, 4. Finally, triples. 3, 4. Do these before, or better yet, after every practice session, and you should notice most of those issues: lack of dynamic control, lack of balance, needing the spring tension to be perfect, etc. start to go away. But there's another category of kick drum issue, and that's stuff I hear when I listen to examples my students send me, which are bad habits you might not even realize you're doing. Category 3, bad habits you don't even know you have. The first is playing the first note of a series of doubles just a hair early. I'll demonstrate. Instead of, it can sound more like, that's usually because we're not super comfortable with doubles. So we're moving the first note early so we can smuggle both notes in. Super simple, though not quick fix. Start by playing that 16th matrix with all 16ths on the hat. 3, 4. Next, switch to a beat like this. And listen carefully to make sure the first note doesn't come early. So, and not. The second major issue I see from you guys is your kick drum not lining up with your lead hand. And by that I mean whichever hand plays the hi-hat or ride cymbal. Especially when you've got the second beat of a kick note double lining up with the catch portion of a drop catch, like this. In fact, that's such a common pitfall that I devote an entire module to it in my coaching course, which you can learn more about by clicking below the player, entering your email address, and on the next. Sorry. Anyway, my favorite exercise for this old chestnut, which longtime channel fans and people who play the 80-20 drinking game will recognize, is this. 3, 4. And that's how you get the gig. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I hope to some degree you'll find it helpful. Maybe it'll crack open something for you and break you out of a rut that you've been in. Anyway, if you've been checking out the channel for a hot minute and you feel like you're ready to go deeper, you feel like maybe you're ready to study with me, I recommend checking out my course, the 80-20 coaching course, which is like 3 to 6 months of studying with me, all for around the price of a single lesson. But we only open it up to people on the insiders list, and we only open it up once or twice a year. And to get on the insiders list, all you need to do is just click below the player, click the big orange button on the next page to download the transcription, enter your email address there, and you'll be automatically on the insiders list, where you'll be notified first every time I post a new lesson, and you'll be notified when I open up the coaching course next. No obligation to buy. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoy these. See you again soon in another lesson of the week.